low, flat, planar areas that are covered with water, but they're kind of blank, kind of naked. What these kids are doing is growing the grasses, and then the grasses in the spring, they'll take them out and they plant them in these mud flats, where there used to be grasses, but there aren't grasses anymore. And they're having a tremendous impact on planting these grasses in the bay and restoring that environment, which is so essential. Now, there's some poorer things happening out there. There's a company called Omega Protein, which is located up in Matthews County, headquartered in Texas, owned by a foreign company. They fish for menhaden. Menhaden is a small fish that is high in oil content. Omega Protein, harvest the fish, you take the oil tablet, they use it for fish food, cat food, they use it for a zillion things. Last year, they took 51,000 tons of menhaden out of the Chesapeake, in excess of the limit authorized. We're only now getting around to trying to hold them accountable, but here, the menhaden is the center of the food chain. Now, if you take out the center of the food chain, what happens? You don't get 8-striped bass. So the commercial fishing and the sport fishing industries are suffering horrendously because this company has taken out the middle of the food chain. And we're struggling to hold them accountable. So, are there things that we can do, that we can think about? Yeah, this is a company that is basically controlled by the state government, not the marine fisheries environment. They got a pass and are controlled politically. They provide jobs, the normal argument for economic growth. But in the meantime, their actions are destroying the food chain in the Chesapeake Bay. There's kids growing oysters in a classroom to be able to restore one part of it, while some company is harvesting the middle of the food chain to take out the rest of it. It's nonsensical. Are we going to have kids growing menhaden here pretty soon? So, again, there's the environment, there's the community, there's the economy, and commerce. Those all have to work together in balance. So some of the things that we can think about is, what does caring for our garden, so to speak, what does caring for our garden mean to us? We view water as an endless supply because all you do is go over to the faucet, open it, put it in your bottle, and you're good to go. We think we don't like harvesting oil, but we put it in our car without any problem and drive around, and some of us drive big cars with big engines that go really fast. Fuel consumption. So, lots of things to think about there. And how do we avoid upsetting the balance of the resources? We talked about the Colorado River. We talked about the food chain in the Chesapeake. What kind of impact can you have on that? And I think, how can you change your waste and recycle habits to improve our situation? Or are we just hopelessly over the brink because that's the way our culture is defined? Those are things for you to think about. Those are things for you to wrestle with. How do you change, manage, and develop the future? Do you have an impact on your community, your friends, those around you? You see things? Cheryl and I right now are on a pick up your dog poop campaign, because people will just let their dogs go anywhere. When it rains, that ends up in the stormwater system, which eventually ends up in the lakes and then in the Chesapeake. All that nutrient is not appropriate for the system. And so people can clean it up if they choose to do so. The problem is they don't think about it. They have no idea what impact it has on the area around them. Things to think about, things to fight about, things to argue about, things to develop ideas about. That's up to you. This is the world we're giving to you. You don't have to necessarily take what we hand you. You can change it. You can make it better. You got to understand the impacts and how to do that. I'd like to leave you with those thoughts. Maybe I should have been a little more cheerful, a little more positive. But those are some realities that I want you to wrestle with. If everything's cheerful, you go, oh, life is good. find some things that you can't deal with, you have to struggle with, then you have to work at it. You have to think about it. You have to wrestle with it. So those are some things for you to wrestle with, because we are asked to care for the garden. Thanks a lot.